Our resident GM, Mike Tannenbaum, sees him as a first-rounder, and in typical Mikey T fashion, he has an out-of-the-box idea about who should draft the Washington quarterback.
If you're the Dallas Cowboys and you really want to make things interesting, picking in the late 20s in the first round of this year's draft, what might you consider doing?
Take Michael Penix, and here's why, Greeny. Last year, Deonte Banks with the 24th pick averages roughly $3.3 million. So if the four of us were running an NFL team, we would all say that Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Michael Penix today. But if one's making $55 million a year and one's making $3.3, think about all the other players that just walked out the door, most notably someone like Tyron Smith that could be a Dallas Cowboy.
Leave it to Mikey T to come up with something to give us fuel on a Friday. Mina, Sam, and Jeremy with us. Let's start with you, Acho. Should the Cowboys, who have a lot of needs, consider drafting a quarterback in the first round?
I wouldn't be opposed if that quarterback is Michael Penix Jr. Why do I say that? Michael Penix Jr. over his first 4 years in college had back-to-back season-ending injuries. There's this injury history, but the last 2 years he's been fully healthy, and not only that, he's led college football in passing yards both last year and the year before last. Mind you, plays in the same conference as Caleb Williams, right? So beat him head-to-head. And so for me, if I'm Dallas and I have Dak Prescott on the last year of his contract, you draft a guy in the late 20s who could, if he was healthy, be a top 3 pick. All of a sudden you have a quarterback for now and potentially for the future. Let's say Dak plays outstanding. Michael Penix learns from him. Let's say you have an Aaron Rodgers situation with Jordan Love. I think there are holes for the Cowboys, absolutely, but I'm not totally against the idea of drafting a quarterback if that quarterback's name is Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah, I don't love this idea or the fit for Penix. Sam mentioned Jordan Love. You know, Jordan Love was extremely young and raw coming into the NFL. Obviously, he sat not because of that, but because he was playing behind Aaron Rodgers, who's still playing at an extraordinarily high level. But Penix, I view as much more of a finished product, not just in terms of his age. He is an older prospect, but he's played a lot of football. To me, a better destination for him would be a team like, I don't know, Las Vegas, maybe not at 13, but at some point in the draft where he can come in and compete. Whereas with Dallas, I still view this as a playoff roster, and maybe their approach to the offseason hasn't been as all-in as Jerry Jones once said. But in the draft, you have an opportunity to augment an offensive line that really is the biggest area of need here with Tyron Smith and Tyler Biadasz walking out the door. They might kick out, have Tyler Smith, who's been very good play left tackle. But at 24, I think they're going to have their pick of some pretty talented offensive linemen. And this is a team that has been exceptionally good at drafting and developing at that position.
Yeah, they also have Trey Lance sitting there in their quarterback room. We'll see what happens there. So, Jeremy, this is all, of course, under the prism of Dak's contract situation there in Dallas. What do we know? What's the latest?
Well, Hannah, I talked to somebody directly with the team who said that the notion that the Cowboys don't want to re-sign Dak Prescott after this year is false. They are going to try. Now, can they find common ground on the contract when Prescott has unprecedented leverage here with a $60+ million cap hit this year, dead money on the contract next year? It's going to be hard for them to do, but I do expect them to try. They still see Prescott as their long-term answer. They have Trey Lance as a developmental quarterback right now, but all offseason signals are that they're going to try to re-sign their big 3 at some point. Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons.
A lot of work to do there in Dallas. Let's